Greetings. This is Doc coming to you live today from Black Facts Central on Easter Sunday. Yes. Now, I know a lot of you are celebrating Easter a little differently than the way you would have expected you were going to celebrate Easter this year. Okay. Things are a little bit different now, but celebrate you will, and everything's gonna be everything. Everything will be everything. The my dilemma for today is where to begin. Should I go with the religious tome? Should I read from one of the many books that we have here at Black Facts Central, or should I just go right off the cuff? Now that is the dilemma. I was going to go with a piece on the gods. I thought about doing that, but I couldn't find the book that I wanted to really come from for that one. So instead, you know what? Maybe I will do one about the gods. Because I have one here. As I was looking in the camera here, I could see the book right up here on the shelf, and I know I got it marked out. Ooh, yes, and open to the page. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to read from this book here today, because this is a book nobody knows about. This book, it's like a secret book. It's a secret book of wisdom, and I learned about the book from one of my professors, Fela Shawande. He really, he kind of turned me on to the book to a certain extent, but he also let me know that the book had a number of different versions and that you had to be careful about which version that you read. Now, this book is called Indaba, My Children. Indaba, My Children. That's a word, I believe, in the Zulu language, if I'm not mistaken. So all you members of the Zulu Nation out there, greetings to you on Easter morning. All right. So this one's for you all. Indaba, My Children. Now, there was another version of it I had up here. Indaba, My Children. There's another one. This is the new version, same book. Okay. But you see, on this one, they call it African folk tales. African folk tales. So that's a downgrade, because as soon as you say African folk tales, everybody and their mama figures that you're talking about something that it's not real, it's fake. You can put it in the mythological category, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And all I have to say to that is Troy. Everybody remember Helen of Troy, the Battle of Troy? Okay. Yeah, the Trojans, the Trojan horse, all that stuff. Everybody thought that was a myth. Nobody thought that stuff was real. And then Heinrich Schliemann, I believe it was, dug up the city of Troy. He dug up the foundations of the city of Troy. So apparently Troy was real. And then the same thing happened with the Chinese. They didn't believe that the Emperor Shi Huangdi, they didn't believe that he was actually real either, because he was the first emperor of China. They thought he was some kind of myth. But as one of our great musicians and philosophers always like to say, by the name of Sun Ra, whose myth are you? Whose reality are you? Whose myth are you? Whose reality are you? And I'm going to leave that one at that and let y'all just think about that for a while. Let that one just ruminate and just roll around in your head for a while. Now, the story I'm looking for in here that I'm hoping to find easily, I thought I'd already found it, and then it's like it escaped me, is the story of Marimba. And Marimba was a goddess from East Africa over there at a place called Mwanza Nyanza. Mwanza Nyanza. Now, those of you that speak Kiswahili or are over there in East Africa, over in Tanzania, you know the place I'm talking about, Mwanza, Nyanza. So Nyanza is the name of the place, and Mwanza simply means lake. So Lake Nyanza. And in English, the Brits got there and said, hey, you know, they quote unquote discovered it. They always going around places that like to go around discovering places that there's already people living there. I don't understand how you walk up in somebody's house and discover it. But at any rate, they like to say they discovered things. And so when they quote unquote discovered Mwanza and Nyanza, they didn't give it the name that the people there gave it. They wanted to give it their own name. And so they called it Lake Victoria. Lake Victoria, after their queen, Queen Victoria. So this is back in the Victorian times, 19th century is when they finally got there, late to the game. All right, now, let me see. I thought I had it. I keep going over this thing. And her story is a special story to me. And I've told her story many times. I could tell the story without reading it from the book. But today I thought I might do something special and actually read it from the book. Here we go. All right. So Queen Marimba was a goddess, or is a goddess, and she is the creator. At the time that she was still walking around on this earth, because you know the gods have walked on this earth just like Jesus, okay, whatever. The time that she walked around on this earth, no one else was allowed to create anything other than her. She was the only thing allowed to create something new. You could create something, but it had to already have been created. You couldn't come up with a whole brand new invention. She was the only one allowed to do that. And interestingly enough, in spite of the fact that many of my fellow musicians, maybe even still today, some of them, may feel that the drum is a sacred object, quote unquote, and is privy to the domain of the male of the species, in other words, men. It turns out that Queen Marimba, a female, actually created all of the original instruments, including the drum. And so I'll just read that short story to you right here. Great Marimba, the voice of the tremendous woman, a cook, was low and full of great love and respect. It is with great regret that your servants failed to cook your favorite dish of stamped peanuts today. Yeah, making some peanuts. She's probably gonna make some peanut stew. For lo, the old mortar has finally wore through its bottom and is now nothing but a useless hollow log. Now, this is one of the things that we do all the time. We start off our sessions here talking about reduce, reuse, recycle. So here we go right here back in the day. So she says, it's now nothing but an old, a useless hollow log. It is only good for firewood now. We must ask the wood carvers to fashion us a new one. Marimba, in all of her wisdom, she says, do not burn the old mortar, O Mandingwe, said the princess with a mysterious smile. The truth is that I have been waiting for something like this to happen for quite some time. So this is how things are actually created. They're created in the mind first. And like I do it myself in terms of my creative process, first I ruminate on it. And I might ruminate on it for, it could be a matter of years before I finally get to making something. So she'd been waiting for something like this to happen. I shall transform it into something which will add yet more pleasure to the lives of the people whom the gods have entrusted to me to rule and guide along the paths of peace and wisdom. Marimba is indeed the mother of wisdom, whispered the fat cook. Nobody is the parent of wisdom in this world, Mandingwe. I am nothing but a puppet, serving the will of those we do not see. And I try to serve as best I can. Now, bring me the skin of a newly killed wildebeest, and also send Camago, the woodcarver, to me. Where am I at? As you say, O Marimba, said the cook respectfully, falling on her face in obeisance, and then crawling backwards out of the royal hut. Marimba turned the old nut-grinding mortar into the first drum the world had ever seen. And for the first time since the dawn of creation, the forest shook to the pulsing beat of a drum. The instrument became so popular with the Wakambi that almost everybody wanted to have a drum in his own hut. The woodcarvers were very busy indeed. The Princess Marimba made them of different sizes, each with a different quality of sound, from the loud, hollow boom to the gentle pow pow. The big ones were known as the male drums. Smaller ones were female drums. And the very small ones that children could carry around were known as sparrow drums. The largest drums she ordered to be reserved for purposes of worship only, and these had the symbol of the river of eternity carved into them in a continuous pattern all round. And on many of these drums were also carved symbols representing passages from the great poems of creation and sacred symbols of spiritual secret knowledge. This she did to preserve the knowledge of the Wakambi for all time. Men were elected to look after these drums, and this became their sole duty in life. These drummers of high honor had to daub the instruments periodically with animal fat to preserve both the wood and the skin. When a drum was attacked by a wood-borne pest, they had to wrap it in wet animal skins and then leave it to steam in a hollow ant hill, which had been heated by a fire till it was red hot. When a drum deteriorated beyond repair, it was the duty of the oldest woodcarver to carve a new one, an exact replica in every detail, and the old one was buried with the full burial honors with which a chief is buried. Marimba's drums became so popular that even the Maasai copied them, but not for peaceful purposes. One day when Mpushu was carrying a number of drums to a village of the Wakambi, he was set upon by 3 Maasai who knocked him flying into a muddy stream and made off with the drums, but only after requesting him to fetch some more, as they would like to steal those too. The Maasai were the first to use the drum for relaying signals, especially military signals. Give a Maasai a stone and he will hit something or somebody with it. Give him a piece of give him any piece of wood and he will turn it into a club with which to brain you. Peace or peaceful are words that do not occur in the vocabulary of the Maasai. To them, these are absolutely meaningless abstractions. With the birth of the drum came the birth of new dances in the land of the Wakambi. Dances like the Bupiro Mukiti, or the dance of life, performed by both male and female dancers, or the Chukuza ya Sandanda, the dance of the baboon, which is performed by male dancers only. This is the most muscle punishing dance that can ever be performed. All these dances were invented for one reason only: expression of tribal religion and the release of that beneficial life force dormant in every human being, but which when released makes one feel closer in the arms of eternity. Also, some of the dances performed by young people, like the famous love dance or the Cavirando, and the now that one I'm not going to be able to say. Kashia, looks like Kashia of the Nguni, were invented so that the young people might find an opportunity to use up their excess energy. So that's one story. It was kind of long, probably went over my 15 minutes, hoping that I didn't. Again, the book is that I was reading today from the book Indaba, My Children by Credo Mutwa Vusama Zulu, right? Credo, well, Vusama Zulu, Credo Mutwa. Sometimes I change the order of his name. I always have a hard time with it, but I know it's Vusama Zulu, okay? Yeah, because, you know, it's got the Zulu at the end. All right, so look for that book. You can find it on Amazon. If you can't find it there, you can order it from me. You're not going to get it for free. It's going to cost you about $50. So you know what to do. PayPal, you can send me the money like that. That'll be real live and much appreciated. And this is a book of wisdom, and it's not folk tale. It's not folklore. This is history, straight up. Okay, check it out for yourself. That was One Piece. When you get the book, read it for yourself. Give back some critical commentary. Peace out. Without a doubt, enjoy your Easter Sunday. I'm going to wave at you on my way out. Boom, boom, boom. And check you later.